Welcome to our Poi tutorial on Gunslinger wraps.
What's up, Flomies? Jesse Hart here of Full Circle Phenomenal. Welcome to the Sacred Flow Art channel, and welcome to Victoria Falls in Zambia, right on the border of Zimbabwe and Zambia in Africa. One of the biggest, if not the biggest, waterfalls in all of Africa. We're fortunate actually to be here during the dry season when it's quite low, because during the wet season this whole thing is a cascade, and often enough the mist is up so high, as you can see in the background, you can't see anything. So we're really fortunate to be here. Last time we saw you, we were in Ecuador on the Galapagos Islands over a year and a half ago. Since then, we've driven all the way through Peru, Chile, all the way to the southern tip of South America, Tierra del Fuego, where we've been teaching and recording music videos the whole way. We drove north up through Argentina, went into Brazil at Iguazu Falls, another outstanding waterfall, all the way to Rio, where we taught a yoga teacher training, back down to Uruguay, across the ocean from Uruguay with our Yoda Home truck to Durban in South Africa. Drove all the way to Cape Town, hosted a Flow Arts Festival in Cape Town with Flow DNA at the Animus Flow Fest, and then north to Namibia, where we worked with Zelda Lorenz of Evolve Fire and Entertainment, all the way here to the central of Africa. And we're still coming north all the way to Cairo by the end of this year, probably the beginning of 2024. We are celebrating 10,000 subscribers here on the Sacred Flow Art channel, and 4 years that we've been on. Thank you so much for your support. Continue to support us by buying from sacredflowart.com/shop, where you can choose over 300 different flow arts props, and be sure to support us via Patreon or become a private student. Join in with us as we grow flow art community around the whole world. Reach out to Full Circle Phenomenal via Facebook or Instagram. I've been working on the Gunslinger's trick for some time, and now I feel very prepared to teach it to you. So let's get started with a warm-up, or if you're already warmed up, jump straight into the trick.
Let's get our bodies, our minds, and our breath warmed up. Getting first into the wrist, we'll slowly move the hands up and down, moving with our breath. Inhaling up and exhaling down, focusing the mind on slow, conscious movements to open the wrists and body. Then we'll go side to side. Inhale to the outsides, exhale to the insides. Breathing in through the nose, out through the nose. Getting all of your attention into the present moment and investing in yourself. Then around and around. First to the outsides, inhaling for a circle, exhaling for a circle. You can breathe out the mouth if you wish for more relaxation. Then let's switch direction, now coming to the insides, still breathing in for a circle, breathing out for a circle. The breath is key here, as it helps to keep the mind, body, and emotions flexible. Now let's roll the wrists over, as if over a pipe. Inhale back, exhale over the front and forwards. Just arching, bringing the hands maybe all the way to the shoulders, and then arms all the way extended forwards, also getting into the elbows here. Then we'll bring them to the outsides and insides. So with the arms extended out, open the fingers out on the inhale and exhale together and up. Then let's slowly and consciously shake out the wrists side to side and up and down. Good. Now bringing the hands to the side in a T shape, we'll inhale and then exhale, bring the left hand forwards and down, right thumb back, wringing out both arms. Inhale, untwist, and exhale, switch. Left thumb back, right thumb forwards and down. Inhale and twist, and alternate. Bring particular awareness to your shoulders, coming up and out of the socket, and then plugging back and down. Good, now let's inhale, lift the arms up, and exhale, allow them to flop down. Inhale up, exhale, switch. Bringing the arms up nice and high, and then relaxing them down, breathing out. Alternating each side for a few times before loosening up completely, letting the arms flop from side to side as we twist the spine gently, looking over each shoulder. Inhale forwards, exhale, twist. Nice. Now let's loosen up, bounce out the shoulders, wiggle it out, and then we'll exhale, slowly relax all the way down in a ragdoll. Get your arms, shoulders, neck, head, whole torso to relax so your crown is facing the ground. Let the blood rush to your head for a few breaths. Then slowly peel up the spine, inhaling and focusing on every vertebrae stacking, saving the neck and head for last. Exhaling. Then inhale, bring the arms all the way up overhead, and exhale, relax and scan down through the body from head to foot. Once completed, soften your whole body, close your eyes, and check in, breathing consciously and noticing any shift in your mental and emotional state.
Get more yoga on the Full Circle Phenomenal channel.
Let's get started with the trick. Let's let one poi down. If you're mirroring me, do your right hand, and we'll swing it starting to the outside, up and to the outside. And we're going to first practice grabbing the tether at the right point. Now, if you need to, you can just place the tether here. It's going to be about equal tether on each side. You're going to need a weighted handle of some type. This won't work so well with finger loops. But what we're going to do is we're going to loop the tether all the way around the wrist, around basically the bottom of the hand, top of the wrist, in the direction that it was going. Swing it a little bit back and forth if you have a little bit of excess tether on one side, and then flip it back in the opposite direction. Doesn't have to make it all the way around, but place it once again in the opposite position with your other hand, just to begin to memorize that placement and develop a muscle memory there. And then same thing, swing, swing, and flip it over to the other side, get it back into position on the other side. Please note that this trick will get exceedingly more difficult the longer the tether you have. I have short tethered poi here today. So now let's bounce it back and forth. See if you can keep getting into position. Always feel free to pause and place it with the other hand. What we're going for is to now memorize the muscle memory of being able to bounce it back and forth.
Essentially doing the majority of the gunslinger reps right here.
Here it is slowed down for you to be able to memorize, get those mirror neurons working. Now we're looking to memorize the timing here. Your timing won't be the same as my timing necessarily. What you want to do is figure out when is that perfect time when you've got that centrifugal force to just simply bounce it back in the opposite direction. Feel free to experience this as many times as you like. This is kind of the fun part of the trick. You're essentially doing a one-handed spiral wrap, and we all know how much fun the spiral wraps are. If you haven't gotten the spiral wraps, be sure to check out that tutorial. Now let's slow it down and get more emphasis on where to grab the poi. This is the third fine-tuned motor skill muscle memory that you're going to need to memorize. And then releasing it out will be the fourth one, smoothly sliding it in your hand. Observe and rewind this part as many times as you need, as this is the key to put it all together. Once you get it, we can practice going to the inside, bouncing it back and forth, see how it goes, see if you're able to, even if it tangles up, you just keep flowing with it and get it in order. Else, go right back to up and to the inside now and find where exactly to grab it. Make sure that it's relatively the same, if not exactly the same as you did in the other way. Shift it around, get it into that proper placement, even though, relatively speaking, it's the same thing. There's something that your brain might do or you might find interesting, that switching direction still makes it feel like it's a different trick altogether. Like I find going to the outside and starting from there is easier than the inside. It is definitely a new muscle memory when you're turning in the opposite direction, so be sure to give ample time to develop the muscle memory to both sides. Here it is in half speed. Just a single gunslinger and then bounce out in the opposite direction. If you're picking this up pretty quickly, what's a trick that you would like to learn? Please leave it in the comment section. We'll just show it to you a few more times here in each direction, just for your study, and notice how right there I kind of messed up a little bit, but I kept flowing through and kept kicking it back in the opposite direction, and as you can see here, it ended up flowing smoothly out of it. So don't give up if it gets a little wrapped up in the wrong way. See if you can smoothly get out of it. Once you feel satisfied with one hand, wrap it up, and let's do the other hand. So letting out the left hand, going in the same outside direction to begin, and just like we did before, grabbing the tether, sliding it into position, studying that position, really getting both the look and feel for it, and then wrapping it up with the other hand in the same direction, both of the tethers going in the same direction, and then kick them both out in the opposite direction and set up on the other side. We'll bring it in close for you. This is the position I like to get it in, right around the bottom of the palm, not even on the wrist. That being said, you can get it on the wrist, but the key is to make sure it wraps around a part of your hand that feels comfortable for you. Now what you want to watch out for is don't tilt your hand up like this in order to use gravity to your advantage to get the tether down over your hand and wrist. That's something you don't want to do. You want to keep your hand as flat, parallel with the ground as possible in order to get the best effect for yourself and your audience. So keeping the hand down lower, let's do it again. Just one, and then bounce it to the inside. Let's just go for now onto the inside. Grabbing it, sliding, adjusting, using the other hand to place the tether, the handle, and the end in position. Swing, swing, kick it out. Swing, swing, kick it out. Bounce it back and forth. Once you begin getting it with one hand, it's pretty easy to kind of reflect it onto the other hand. That being said, we all might have a stronger hand one than the other. I suggest very strongly to study. If you have an easier hand in an easier direction, do it a couple times. Notice what's easy, notice what you do, and then do it with the other hand immediately afterwards. All right, let's go for both hands now. Both hands going to the outside direction, and slide them both into position and just go back and forth with it. If it doesn't work out perfectly, try again. If you have a hand that's still struggling a little bit, pause and focus on just that hand for a few times. Get a little bit of extra muscle memory built into it, and then immediately re-up both hands once again, and it should fall perfectly into place. Now it'll get more complicated from here, so I suggest practice spinning in one hand, doing gunslinger wraps in the other. Note if you can kind of get comfortable with the timing of it and just flow with the hands doing different things, because eventually here we can do things like split time and get gunslingers wrapping up in the hand at different times. But that's going to become more and more complicated as you go. So just do what's comfortable, begin to experiment in different ways, diversify the ways in which you're thinking and feeling about this trick, and enjoy it. It's a great time. Thanks so much for watching. Really appreciate you guys. And as promised, a little treat for you. Don't try this at home, folks. We've got a few professionals here at work and me in total bliss spinning fire over Victoria Falls. This whole video was created by Full Circle Phenomenal. Be sure to head over to our channel and check it out. Also, be sure to like and subscribe to this channel. Buy your props over at sacredflowart.com/shop. And reach out to Full Circle Phenomenal directly if you'd like some private lessons online in flow arts and fire spinning. Live limitless, you guys. See you around the world.